Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jay from Let's Build Cars, and tonight I want to give you a brief introduction to this 1994 Honda Civic Coupe. This is an all-original car. There's been nothing modified on this other than the stereo. In fact, it's still on these 13-inch steel tires, which are very, very hard to find where I live. You can order them online. I mean, just looking at it, you can see the paint is quite bad. Surprisingly, there is a stock exhaust on it with mufflers and cats, so pretty crazy there. There is some light rust, and there's a big hole here that we're gonna eventually fill up. So kind of the plans for the car is to go over it cosmetically. First, it does run and drive excellent as it currently sits. That being said, let's give it a start. There are currently no floor mats in the car. The carpet is original in great condition. As you can see, there's 455,430 kilometers. I will put a conversion in it for my American viewers. There is no tachometer currently. That is something I am trying to find, is a EJ cluster. Let's take a look at the motor, which is a completely bone stock D15 B7 non-VTEC. It does run quite well, with a slight tick, as you would expect for the kilometers. The alternator was just changed last week. I bought this car with a bad alternator, and ultimately that's how I ended up getting it for $400 Canadian. The driver's side headlight does not work. There is a ton of water in there. I don't know if you can see that. And it ended up melting the electrical connector, so that part is also on the way. As I previously stated, it is completely stock, so stock wheels and tires, stock suspension, stock exhaust, motor mounts, shifter bushings, absolutely everything. And as you guys know, it's a 94 Civic, which means it's getting slammed. It's going to look really good, and it's going to be really slow. That is, unless, of course, we do decide to do a B-Series swap in this. I have been toying with the idea of a B20 swap out of a CRV, or a B18 swap out of an Integra. Stay tuned for that, and I'm definitely open to your guys' suggestions. I am thinking about repainting this car Honda red to keep that factory look. I have got a suggestion that I just sand it, leave it bare metal, and let it rust and clear coat that, which would also look pretty cool. Take a second here to pop into the interior. Interior is pretty clean. I will be either re-wrapping these door cards with red suede or putting in aluminum fastboy door cards. Coming over to the seats here, they are quite old, in excellent shape, except for the driver's seat and this one spot on the bolstering. It is a very low car, and when you do get out of here, you see exactly how this happened, because your body is actually constantly rubbing against that. Being a coupe, it did not come with the armrest. They are easy to find. They are quite expensive. Doing the daily battle of whether I should pay the import duties on that to come from the States. And then let's just have one more peruse around the car and kind of go over some of the content you guys can expect to see. So obviously we're going to start with an engine bay detail, get that nice and cleaned up. And while we're in there, we are also going to be painting and or polishing the valve cover, replacing the valve cover gasket, doing plugs, wires, just basic maintenance to get us started here, guys. I'd also like to get into the interior a little bit with some seat replacement, possibly an NRG steering wheel swap, as the factory wheel is quite loose and starting to separate from its core. Obviously coilovers, obviously some replica wheels. As we already pointed out, the paint, possibly a wrap, possibly just leave it to rust. Door cards are a definite. Backseat removal will probably also be definite. I have seen in Honda Tech that you can actually retrofit a 4th gen Prelude center console into one of these pretty easily. You just need to mount up a couple of brackets, so that might be something to look forward to. Exhaust and a rear disc brake conversion. Obviously the exhaust is motor swap pending, so stay tuned for that. I'd like to get as much life out of this little D15 as humanly possible. Given its age, I think it's put up a pretty fair fight, and it definitely doesn't owe me anything at this point. So thanks for coming and checking out the car, and like, subscribe, and check out our other social medias for more content. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Cheers.